Yesterday, the news broke that Terry Bollea, known as WWE Hall of Famer Hulk Hogan, has passed away at the age of 71. The news was broke by TMZ, and as a result of a massive heart attack. This is according to sources close to PW Insider. We're going to take a look at some of the tributes that have come in to Hulk Hogan and how WWE will react to it on SmackDown tonight and going forward. But we start, Ross, with a statement from the Clearwater Police Department.
Yeah, it says Clearwater Fire Department and Clearwater Police Department personnel responded to a medical call at 9:51 a.m. today at the 1000 block of El Dorado Avenue on Clearwater Beach. The nature of the call was for a cardiac arrest. A 71-year-old resident, Terry Bollea, also known as Hulk Hogan, was treated by Clearwater Fire and Rescue crews before taken to Sunstar to Morton Plant Hospital, where he was pronounced deceased.
Medical investigation is being conducted by police, but there are no signs of foul play or suspicious activity at this time. So the reaction to the passing of Hulk Hogan has been mixed, to be fair. Many have paid tribute to Hulk Hogan and the career that he has had as a wrestler and the contributions he's made as a wrestler. Many have once again talked about Terry Bollea as a person, the racist comments that were made, the unapologetic racist comments that were made by Terry Bollea, as has once again been doing the rounds on social media. It's a very mixed bag of reaction.
Because that's the thing, you've got Hulk Hogan, who obviously brought in several generations of wrestling fans. We wouldn't be sat here today without the contributions of Hulk Hogan, the wrestler, to the wrestling business. But you got obviously the last 10 years of his life, and maybe a little bit more of that period of time as well, where he just didn't take accountability for the stuff he was caught out doing. It was the famous thing where he went backstage and just made a point of saying, be careful what you say around the cameras, rather than sorry for what I said when the cameras were running around me.
And that's the bit that I think rightly so has really tainted his legacy at this point. It's not an apology for behavior. It's very much, make sure you don't get caught on it. So you're going to hear across the weekend and beyond celebrating somebody that was so significant in the wrestling industry, but you're also going to hear about Terry Bollea as a person as well. Now, WWE put out a message on their socials yesterday when the news came down about the passing of Hogan.
Yeah, they said they are saddened to learn that the WWE Hall of Famer Hulk Hogan has passed away. One of pop culture's most recognizable figures, Hogan helped WWE achieve global recognition in the 1980s. WWE extends its condolences to Hogan's family, friends, and fans.
COO Paul Triple H Levesque shared a lengthy post on Twitter describing Hogan as the archetype of what it meant to be a superstar, a global sensation that inspired millions to work hard at whatever it is they wanted to accomplish, and a look that made him recognizable to fans around the world. From there were more tributes that came in, including one from former WWE chairman Vince McMahon.
I saw a lot of Goldberg grips of "You're next" shared on the bottom of this one, which was
quite
a little chortle there. But yeah, Vince McMahon shared, "The world lost a treasure today. Hulk Hogan was the greatest WWE superstar of all time. Someone who was loved and admired around the world. He was a trailblazer, the first performer who transitioned from being a wrestling star into a global phenomenon. His grit and unbridled thirst for success were unparalleled and made him the consummate performer. He gave everything he had to the audience, whom he appreciated, respected, and loved. He leaves us with one of his favorite expressions: train, take your vitamins, and say your prayers. Today, we pray for him."
Titus O'Neil appeared on NBC News and he described the differences between Hulk Hogan, the character, and Terry Bollea, the man. However, those differences never stopped him from idolizing what Hogan will put in place and the table that Hogan set for him and other WWE superstars going forward. He said that Hogan was one of the most polarizing figures in sports entertainment, but described hosting WrestleMania 37 with Hogan as an amazing experience and an opportunity of a lifetime. I do encourage you to check out Titus O'Neil's interview on NBC News. It's a real classy conversation that Titus has around the whole situation and the differences between Hulk Hogan and Terry Bollea.
Yeah. I guess that is one thing. People who worked with him have got like a bit more, I don't know if it's like an even perspective compared to like us sat on the outside, never having interacted with him at all. It must be obviously harder when you have interacted with someone at close quarters like people like Titus have.
Yeah, there is that. Ric Flair was one of those people who posted on Twitter that Hulk Hogan was an incredible athlete, a talent, a friend, and father. Our friendship has meant the world to me. He was always there for me when I didn't ask for him to be. One of the first to visit me when I was in hospital with a 2% chance of living, and he prayed by my bedside. Hulk also lent me money when Reed was sick. Hulkster, no one will ever compare to you. Rest in peace, my friend. He also also went on TMZ, a very emotional interview in which a very tearful Ric Flair talked more about Hogan, saying people wanted to paint us as enemies, but we were actually very, very close friends, and we kept up with each other on a regular basis. I just talked to Jimmy Hart yesterday, and Hogan was fine. To have this happen is horrible. It's in these interviews where there is a line where he talks about like the rivalry that he had with Hogan, and he makes sure to go, he wasn't as good as Steamboat.
It wasn't quite as good as my stuff with Steamboat, but it was all right, you know.
Keen to go make sure in all this, let's not question Hogan's work rate or anything like that. Obviously, the entire wrestling world has been sharing their memories and thoughts on Hulk Hogan. I love the picture that Keiji Muto shared of him on the set of Thunder in Paradise with Hogan. That's an episode we should have had. Devastated that we didn't. Stars from outside the wrestling world have spoken as well. Christopher Lloyd, who starred alongside Hogan in Suburban Commando, shared a publicity photo from the movie with the simple line, "Rest in peace, Hulk." And Rocky Balboa, Sly Stallone, has also reached out on Instagram.
Yeah, he was on the gram, so he was. In a different gram to the 80s, I would imagine.
I would imagine a different gram to the 80s.
I had the pleasure of meeting this brilliant personality and showman when he was 26 years old. He was absolutely wonderful, had amazing skill, made Rocky 3 incredibly special.
Longtime friend and manager Jimmy Hart on Instagram saying, "Hulkster, you always kept me close to you through everything, and it was an honor. We traveled the world back and forth. Wherever we went, Hulkamania was alive, brother. The fans always came out, and we loved every minute of it. You made more people smile than I'll ever be able to count. Those are the memories I will forever cherish. Thank you for a 4-decade ride. I will keep the megaphone going. Red and yellow will live on. Legends never die, baby. I love you, Terry. Hulkamania forever."
Then we have Barber. The Barber comes in with his thoughts. He says, "Through the good times and the bad, I always loved my brother Terry. I'm devastated for the loss of my friend. I only wish we had more time to mend our broken friendship before his passing."
Yeah, they kind of separated many years before this had happened, and I assume they might have repaired it, but as Ed Leslie says there, clearly they hadn't. Kevin Nash tweeting, "I lost another brother. Icon doesn't even touch it. Rest in power, my friend. NWO for life and beyond."
Yeah, then Eric Bischoff, because obviously all the tension's now on to sort of like, what about American professional?
Real American Freestyle, the RAF.
Goodness me, what is the future of this? It's going to continue though, Tom, isn't it?
It seems that way, but Eric Bischoff went on Fox News last night in the wake of Hogan's passing, and I will say Eric Bischoff, in the wake of all this, still ever the promoter, made sure to constantly push Real American Freestyle throughout it to change any, to assuage any doubt. But when asked about Hogan's passing, he said, "I'm in shock. Still hasn't really set in. I learned this morning about Hulk's passing, ironically, while watching Fox News. I'm in Las Vegas, scheduled to shoot some interviews here with some of our wrestlers from Real American Freestyle, and I got a text to let me know that something was going on. 5 minutes later, I was in my room watching Fox News and got the news, and I have literally been on the phone or responding to texts and emails ever since. It hasn't truly sunk in yet." He talked about the difference between Hulk Hogan and the Terry Bollea that he knew. This comes back to what you said about how people close to him would have had maybe a different perspective. He says, "I feel like I knew Terry Bollea. Terry Bollea was different than Hulk Hogan. Terry Bollea, the man, was kind. He was generous to a fault. He was loyal. He just had a big heart. And until you got to know Terry Bollea, you were overwhelmed with the character Hulk Hogan, and that was his life. But he really was one of the kindest and most generous people that I have ever met." And in terms of the future for Real American Freestyle, a few tweets from Eric Bischoff confirmed that it wasn't going away anytime soon.
Yeah, he says, "Thanks for the house Hulkster," the old wrestling speak first and foremost, but he addressed the future by saying, "The show goes on, brother," in all caps, exclamation mark. "It's going to continue happening." And how ticket sales were doing after just sort of prior to this incident happening, obviously. But yeah, because obviously Kurt Angle's now involved. What will that mean for his role in the thing? Because he was going to be announcer. Could he be bumped up to a new role? Who knows what might happen,
Could
Tom?
potentially be the case, but the socials for Real American Freestyle also echo Eric Bischoff's sentiment there, saying that we lost our commissioner, we lost a friend, and the sport of wrestling lost one of its greatest champions, not just in ring, but in spirit. RAF was personal to him, something bigger than all of us. The league is part of his legacy, and we intend to honor it. On to WWE, though. SmackDown tonight, it goes without saying that there will be some kind of video package, something that will be done to honor Hulk Hogan. Fightful reporting that many readers asked how WWE would handle the Hulk Hogan passing. We're told they were going to be highlighting him as normal and that he was part of the WWE family. We're told that as of Hogan's passing, there were no firm plans to feature Hogan on WWE TV again. To clarify, it's not that they never would have, there just weren't any active plans. This comes off of his last appearance for WWE, where he was booed on the Netflix special, and there was talk of maybe there was some rumor and innuendo going around that they were going to bring in Hollywood Hogan to do a bit, but not the case at all.
Yeah.
WrestleVotes, though, have given us an update from what's currently going on behind the scenes at WWE.
Yeah, they're saying many departments inside WWE were instructed to pause whatever current projects they were working on today and pivot towards Hulk Hogan related jobs. There will be a lot from WWE dedicated to Hogan this week, especially on social media, as you would expect.
So I don't know how much that means that we're going to see changes to SmackDown tonight. You'd have expected, like I say, at the very least, a video at the top of the program.
There'll be the thing at the start of the show. It might be a little tribute in the middle, but yeah, it's because obviously it's a weird position to sit in, because it feels like there are two camps. Either you are celebrating the career of Hulk Hogan the wrestler, or you're just sort of not asked because of his actions of the last 10 years or so.
Yeah.
So they can't really,
It'll be interesting to see how this one plays out. And of course, there'll be more news throughout the day regarding this and other things at cultaholic.com. Stay safe. Love you. Bye.